Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My kid married her AP rant. So, a couple of years ago my adult daughter started bringing her friend from work around. I didn't think too much of it. Then it was my friend is getting a divorce and I recommended my apartment complex to him. Then he was her boyfriend. Over the course of this, things are said that lead me to believe she is a homewrecker. Then she got pregnant and I knew for sure she was. I am just disgusted. I have absolutely no relationship with her or her kid. She watched me break. She watched the absolute hell I have been through. Then she turned around and did this to another family. I guess his divorce is final now because she married him this week. Did I mention he is significantly closer to my age than hers? I am so angry. So disappointed. I just don't know where to go with it all. Her AP has kids with his other wife. She broke up a whole family. How can she possibly think he won't do this to her? Or her to him? I just can't believe cheaters can just destroy relationships. How far-ranging the tentacles are. I didn't disown or cut anyone off. Just to clarify, this is my kid and AP's decision. Sadly, it's common for kids to repeat the poor behavior of their parents because they are unconsciously conditioned through childhood to normalize it as part of their upbringing. You can tell this will end in disaster. Huge age gap. Starts as an affair. Accidental child. Shame from parents. It won't last. Sadly, abuse tends to be generational and now your grandchild will likely grow up and manifest the same unhealthy behaviors. I am so very worried about this. My ex left me without ever telling me she was unhappy for a loser stay-at-home dad neighbor who she began spending time with while I was going back to school and starting a new, hard career, like we had planned, and while his wife worked. They don't really even think they did anything wrong. It's mind-boggling. My main focus now is raising my kids right, but it's so hard because they can certainly tell how devastated I am by the whole thing, and I guess their mom is happy now. I don't know for sure, and I know that she can be unhappy generally and her little boyfriend is definitely an unhappy person. I guess I made a poor choice in my life partner, but I sure wish it was different. I don't want to mess up their well-being any more than it has been already. I hate it so much. How long have y'all been split? Bad choices happen. But pick yourself up and open your heart back up. It's been about 3 years. They do. It is hard when those bad choices slap you in the face on a 5/5/2/2 day schedule. I appreciate your kind words. I'm trying. Man, I feel for you. I was their fam. Hard to co-parent sometimes. She only recently admitted it by accident and out of anger. She hinted at having done it. We have been split for 4 years. Her horrible attitude helped me move on, and her throwing moving on in my face helped too. I know it's hard. It took me 2 years just to be able to look women in the eyes. That's how low my confidence was. That's what she took from me. But within this, I found me, cool face, and you will too, my guy. I know it's hard. People don't realize how emotions take a toll on men. Seems like we move on so much slower. It just isn't fair. But you will survive this. I'm in year 4 and finally at a peaceful place. I accepted that this is my life and it will never be easy, but then again, we warriors. You are a warrior too, you just don't see it yet. Let the tears fall. Let your vision get blurry, because after that the man you were destined to be will emerge and the woman who was meant for you will find you. I'm here. My guy, if you ever need to vent. Felt your pain through a post and man, it hit deep. You are a very kind soul. I'm in year 2 on my own. Out of a 10+ relationship with my absolute best friend. He had moved on while we were still living together, but I have yet to fully let it go. Do you have any advice on how to fully get there? I get to a point where I think I'm good and I don't think about him, but some stupid thing will remind me of a time or a place or whatever, and it all just comes rushing back. And I'm bitter. I'm so bitter and I hate myself for it. I'm angry he treated me like I didn't matter and he left me for a younger woman. The betrayal is so hard to wrap my head around. I tell myself to just let it go. Let him go. Nothing works. I just want to be happy again. For me it happened 40 years ago. We were first to everything. Married 14 years with kids. I was notified by AP's wife. She still loved me but was in love with him and didn't see us continuing the marriage. I was scared, confused, and devastated. You wake up one morning with your family intact, then bam. Didn't know how to go on. Not wanting to give my family up, I acted like a puppet while she humiliated me in front of family and friends. All this to say that you are not alone and won't be the last BS or BP with a similar story. Back then IC or therapy was not exposed to me, but wise counsel from my much older brother was. The longer you linger in hope, the longer you stay in pain. You ask what to do. Get into exercise for your body and mind, a hobby or sports. Spend lots of quality time with your kids. Spend time with close friends or make new ones. Don't isolate yourself. After a while you might go on a date or two if you're comfortable. It doesn't have to be serious. Human contact. I regained confidence, self-esteem, and affirmation that it wasn't my fault. I took classes, got a new career and the promotions kept coming. 3 years after D-Day, I met my wife, in class, and we've been happily married for 35 plus years. Please know that the longer you stay stagnant, the longer you postpone what could be a happier and fulfilling future. Never thought I'd thank my ex-wife, metaphor, for giving me this gift of a fantastic life. Good luck with your choices. Or baby girl, you will be fine. You just extremely hurt right now. But your biggest pain is to yourself. You are mad that you gave up on yourself and it came at a costly price. I've been there too. But it's your inner self speaking out. He betrayed you. Yes. But from your post I resonate with self-betrayal. Let me tell you, it happens. Pain and failure are inevitable, but they lead to something. They lead to who we should be. We fail when we do things against our nature. He wasn't for you. It's hard to believe because you thought differently, I know. I've been there. And the shock from it all is devastating. But put your focus on you. Who you always wanted to be. Your goals. Goals people told you were silly and unobtainable. Or that you put off for this. Slowly grow into that woman you have the potential to be. Let your pain guide you as it will lead you to proper healing. Don't fight those reminders. There are signposts of where never to go back to in the future. Just keep trying to be happy but chase what truly fuels your soul. For me it was boxing and semi-pro football. Got me back in touch with my fortitude and meditating also. Also understand who you are about to become because pain is a precursor to change. You could never be with him. My inbox is open if you need to vent. Have you ever considered meeting someone new? That's an alternative way to move on. Maybe someone like Op or someone with similar experience, talk it out to know that you are not only one. The best you can do is model good behaviors and have frank discussions. For example, if you are dating and something is off in the relationship, so you end it, tell them that. Tell them your instincts said she wasn't right for you, so you parted. Let them see how a healthy breakup works. Let them know to trust their instincts. Let them see that if a relationship isn't really working, it's okay to walk away and be happy with someone compatible or be happy solo. You must not be mad at yourself about having made a poor choice in life partner. I have done quite the same thing myself, so you are not alone. And that is the most important reason why I have promised myself never to marry again. It is once more than enough. They don't really even think they did anything wrong. It's mind-boggling. The rationalization, the absolute denial that they in fact did nothing wrong is mind-blowing. Many have such a hard time with the mental gymnastics one must do, in order to absolve yourself from betraying someone, that they often will blame the left-behind partner, for why they had an affair. Again, mind-blowing. And yeah, not much will wake them out of their delusion, unfortunately. Must be nice to be so oblivious to causing such pain upon another. You know? Strange thing is, once it happens to them, and the odds are that they will be betrayed, they will think the world has ended. They usually still will not see their betrayal of you in a different light, unfortunately. A truly broken moral compass they have, if I'm being honest. Therapy can help. I'm sure this will end in disaster. But I do need to clarify that my girls thought our home life was great. We were all very close. My WS affair didn't come to light until they were grown up. He traveled for work and was great at compartmentalizing. In other words, they grew up in a home they thought was great with a close-knit family. Then, they learned of their father's affair. So, in the mind of the youngster/young adult, this becomes you can have an affair and a great home life. From there, should the affair be discovered and the marriage/relationship be ended by the BS, it's easy to move on to they weren't really compatible. And I think most grown adults should know cheating is wrong. I think there is just some fundamental empathy lacking for people to be able to do this shit to other people. You can't say childhood has everything to do with it. Plenty of children grow up with cheaters and go so far the other way they don't want to become cheaters. And other children grow up to emulate the example they were given. Such as Op's daughter. I don't want to pry, but why did your daughter and her AP decide to go no contact with you? Once I found out it was an affair, I wanted no part of it. Or him. He is really not a good person. None of us liked him before. So I told her I would be more than happy to have her and her unborn baby in our lives, but please do not bring him. Or his kids. His teenage kids had already been stealing from my daughter. I had to hide stuff when they came over. She is the one who told me I couldn't trust them, and to hide stuff. So now she isn't speaking to me and is keeping away with the baby. This guy is very controlling. Loud. Know all types of people. Her sisters and I have watched as he has isolated her more and more. Now she mostly hangs out with only his family. They are absolutely not my kind of people. Sadly, it's common for kids to repeat the poor behavior of their parents. I wasn't aware of that. My ex's mum left her dad for her AP when my ex was a teenager. She didn't cope well with it. Didn't stop her becoming a cheater when she grew up though, man shrugging. My WW's mother was a serial cheater, and it appears STBX has followed in her footsteps. What's AP? Affair partner. Thanks. Kinda out of short forms. I had to break up with a friend. She was also a betrayed spouse. Ex left her and her kid. She never wanted another man, she said. Only lives for her kid. She started an affair with a married guy at work. She wanted my support because she was so in love and couldn't wait until he left his wife. I never screamed at anyone so loud in my life. I never saw her again. I can't believe people cheat, but I can believe it even less from people who know what it is like. Sorry brother, almost same thing here. Married, she had been cheated on in her past relationships, told me how much it hurt and all of the pain it caused. Well, twice she had affair. First time I forgave, I couldn't forgive her the second time. I'm not really sure if that was the only 2 times she cheated. It sucks someone can be hurt and turn around and do it to someone else. Sister over here, winking face, I really don't get it and I never will. I once read, there are 2 kinds of people. People who see the hurt done to them as a ticket to freely do the same to others. And people who take that pain and make sure no one ever has to feel the same. It's so hard to be around someone you know is cheating after being cheated on. Once her AP's kid confirmed that they were together before he divorced. My heart broke. I didn't scream, but did state my position very clearly. I was given the choice to accept AP and her as a package deal. I tried. Couldn't do it. He disgusts me. Never compromise your integrity to appease someone's bad behavior. Good job. Thank you. The mind boggles why someone could do that. Usually they have a weak excuse about how it's different for them because they have found true love and deserve to think of themselves for once. What's up here? You're a really good person. There are so many people out there that would let a friend continue that crap uncorrected. My best friend in college started sleeping in secret with one of our other friend's boyfriends. He broke up with his girlfriend and started dating my best friend. My best friend could not understand why I was upset with her. I asked her if she wanted to sleep with my boyfriend, if that would be okay, and she said if I felt the way I do about current boyfriend, then nothing would get in my way. Cut all ties with her and she couldn't understand why. They got married. Stayed together for 15 years and just divorced. We haven't talked since. I think selfishness or narcissistic tendencies are a huge part of it. The romanticized view of nothing stops true love. Or the sacrifice is worth it. I really hope she grew out of it, but who knows. I really appreciate your stand. I've been through this before and even now, and never maintained a relationship or friendship that took lies, dishonesty, betrayal and manipulation as virtues. Those whom I discarded from my life and all severed all connections, thought what went wrong, and one said, my so-called father, I'll my surviving infidelity tomorrow or Monday. Here you can full story then, that I am overreacting. Surviving isn't easy, but leaving them for better things that are in your life are. This has been a realization of mine recently. My WW had an EA with a co-worker and we've reconciled, but it was one of the things that led to the divorce and broken home for the kids of her AP. She's expressed regret to me for how she hurt me, but I don't know that it's ever registered with her that she helped destroy the marriage in someone else. Then that makes me wonder how sincere she is about hurting me. How so mad? It's in her best interest for her to convince you that she is truly remorseful for her actions because she knows they were wrong and she is ashamed of herself. She wouldn't want you to think that she wishes she hadn't gotten caught, and that she would have continued cheating if she wasn't caught. You know her better than us. Do you think she wouldn't have entered into the affair if she knew that it would ultimately break up AP's family? I'm not talking about getting caught. I mean the collateral damage. As a parent, there is very little you can do when kids are adults. Don't beat yourself up over this. Have you ever brought this up to her? Like, have you ever told her that you know? Yes. I did. As kindly as I could. But there is only so much I can do. She is an adult. I am happy you do not support her in her actions. Cheaters will cheat again, so this new relationship will probably end up like his last marriage did. All you can do is stick to your own morals. Thank you. It has been a nightmare. She knows where we are, and she knows we will be there when it blows up. That's all I can do. I could not be a part of it. At one point, sitting in my living room, I looked at them and my it hit me, I was the only person in that room that wasn't a cheater. It was bad when I suspected. Worse when his kid confirmed it. Were you also cheated by your wife? And she was aware of it? My husband. Her stepdad. Yes, she is absolutely aware. She has seen me crumble. Watched as I struggled to just function. I actually stayed with her for a few days in the beginning. She isn't young. Almost 30. She knew what she was doing. Maybe reach out to the other betrayed spouse, tell her your story and how terrible your daughter is. It's hard. You should cut contact if you don't disown her. All I can say is that a fair marriage don't last, and her marriage will soon fail. It's different. If you take your position to its conclusion, she should have a relationship with her husband's AP too. If no one allowed cheaters in their lives in any form, we would be cutting contact with at least half the people we interact with. You don't know the reason she stayed with her husband. She's in her 50s or 60s. Perhaps it is an economic decision. Perhaps she doesn't want to die alone. But, stay on that high horse. This is terrible advice. I'm sure the other spouse already knows, since OP has stated that it has been a number of years. As hard as it is to hear, it's also not OP's place to do that. Her focus needs to be on working through her own pain and finding a way to talk with her daughter if she desires to have a relationship with her. Anything else can be considered petty and mean-spirited and a way to offload her own pain onto someone else who is likely already experiencing a lot of their own pain and grief. Bad. Cheaters never think about the family that they destroy, just about their happiness. You can't build a happy life on someone else's misery. Accept the things you cannot change, change the things you can, and have the wisdom to know the difference. Wait so you don't have a relationship with your grandchild? That's sad. It's not their fault their mother made the choices she made. I hope one day y'all can have some sort of communication. Grandparents can and do have a big impact on their grandchildren. I would like that too. Right now my kid is busy using her as a weapon. That makes me so sad. I totally agree. I'm heartbroken for my grandchild. I understand Op being so hurt over all this. But I wouldn't be able to stand not getting to be a part of a beautiful, innocent child's life. But then I just saw Op's comment about her daughter using the grandchild as a weapon, and that's just so awful. That breaks my heart for the child and Op. Thank you. I would love a relationship with her. As I said in a previous reply, our state as grandparents laws. I am trying desperately to avoid that route. It seems like a lose/lose all around. Best of luck to you. So sorry for the situation you're in. Cheating is absolutely awful, however cutting her and the child out of your life is a bit dramatic. Was her partner and his ex-wife separated when she fell pregnant? If the whole thing is based on his divorce not being finalized but they were separated, it's a bit of an extreme reaction. She's your daughter. Is it really worth losing out on time with her and your grandchild? Especially since you are still married to your husband after he cheated? I couldn't imagine cutting my children off because I didn't agree with their choices. How did you arrive at the conclusion that I cut them out? Never said that. This is all her choice. I would have hated her AP had he been single. I am in no way required to have a relationship with him. When he cheats on her, she knows where to find me. You said in your post you have no relationship with her or her kid. You didn't state she had decided not to speak to you or allow you to be in their lives. So that's how I arrived at that conclusion, obviously. So you believe that he'll cheat on her because he's done it before? Just cause in other comments you've said you're still with your husband that cheated on you. Seems like you should lead by example if you want to make your point to her. Thanks for your judgment. Next time I post I'll try to make it more clear for you. I didn't mean for you to have to jump to your own conclusions. Have a nice day. I know we have all been through stuff that obviously can often lead to us thinking negatively, but have you actually spoken to your daughter? There is a chance that you have made this entire thing something it wasn't. It is very possible they were just friends and didn't start dating this guy till after his divorce. You also said he is much older. There is also the chance he is feeding off her vulnerability. Before you go and cut a person out of your life that you are supposed to love unconditionally, you should stop projecting onto her because of your ex-husband's mistakes. Yes, you could be right. I mean, they say we know our children more than anyone else, but I don't think it's worth not being a part of your grandchild's life. To each their own. But last question, advice: have you gone to good therapy yet? I do love my daughter. She made her choice. Should she decide to lose her AP, I would try. I have not jumped to conclusions. My husband, her bio dad, is dead. My WS and I are still married. I have been in therapy for 7 years. Also, cheating is never a mistake. It is a series of choices. Thanks for your kind thoughts. Have a nice day. Watch it. What you are saying is not true, and you are victim blaming. Stop. I chose to reconcile. Want to come after me too? Did we betray our right to take a stand against appalling behavior? What else of our agency would you strip from us? Why? How are you doing us any favors? What are we missing? Please enlighten us with your wisdom. She's not cutting off her flesh and blood. Her flesh and blood cut her off, because she doesn't want a relationship with flesh and blood's AP. Where in the hell did you get that I cut my daughter off? All I said is that we have no relationship. This is her and AP's choice. Not mine. Go on. Rules for thee and not for me. You took back your cheating spouse but cut your daughter out of your life? Ouch. No wonder her moral compass is off. Judgmental much? My moral compass is fine, thanks. I'll take my cheating daughter back, too. Anytime. What I won't do is welcome her AP into my home. Or my life. It's insane to me that you can't see the problem here. You won't take her husband into your home because he's a cheater, yet you took your own cheating husband back, and you can't see the hypocrisy there? Gross. Yes, I am judging a parent for cutting off a child and their child from their life but forgiving their spouse for it. Absolutely judging you. I see the problem just fine, which is hypocrisy. Now you are saying you will make contact with your daughter again? And what if she can't forgive you for the way you treated her and her child? False moral equivalence. You're so far off base, op is wise to ignore you. Pearls before swine. Yes. I am saying I'll absolutely have contact with and try to repair the damage you caused. She and her kid have always been more than welcome. Her trash AP is not. She insisted they are a package deal. I haven't treated her child in any way. We set up a college fund for her when she was born. Thanks for your judgment, Toe. Have a nice day. I have absolutely no relationship with her or her kid. Okay. You are suddenly changing your tone, seems like. Have a day, smile. This comment is hilariously hypocritical. If your cheating spouse is allowed in your home and her spouse isn't, I can see why she doesn't visit. You're controlling. And your post doesn't actually indicate that he cheated on his ex with your daughter, only that you assume that he did. Have the day you deserve. Trying not to be offensive here. I do feel like it is hypocritical of you. I wonder if it is a psychological projection that you are still angry at the WS. Curious what your therapist says? Coming from a place of honest support, not being judgmental. Op, your judgmental hypocrisy is on full display here. I don't know how you can't see it. It's like you're judging your daughter's AP more than your own husband, and sacrificing your relationship with your daughter and grandchild just to die on a hypocritical moral judgment hill. Bizarre. I hope publicly posting about it generates some insight. To clarify, she was pregnant long before his divorce was final. Over a year before. Divorce is a legal proceeding. His marriage ended when he left his wife, told her he was done with her, and he got his own place, etc., that sort of thing. The question is whether they went from friendship to love before all that or not. According to his other children, it was an affair. He even decorated his apartment for her. She had moved in almost immediately. By my kid's account, his wife hated her. They all worked together. You seem to have some unresolved issues from your own trauma. Try answering these questions truthfully with your husband and your counselor. Are you disappointed in that your daughter was the other woman in her husband's failed marriage? Do you feel the same way about your husband's AP? Are you projecting these feelings toward your daughter? Would you have felt better if he had left your daughter pregnant and went back to his wife? Would you feel better if she becomes the victim of cheating? Do you wish this pain and suffering on her as punishment for her interfering in another marriage? Do you resent she's getting away with being the other woman? Your daughter probably sees you as the enemy of her marriage and family. She most likely thinks you want her marriage to fail so you can say I told you so. Even if it fails, she may blame you instead of him because you cut her off for falling in love, something she couldn't help. She thinks you want her child to lose her father in her life. She sees you stay with a cheater and worked it out, so why can't she? You may think it is different, but to her it is one and the same. I hope you can work through this and love and support your kid and grandchild. She needs her mother to be there now more than ever. Life is too short to hold grudges against those we love. You do not want her to feel trapped and hopeless, unable to turn to you when needed. You don't have to like her husband, but he is her husband. Be honest and let him know to keep his distance but be there for her. Good luck. I have and continue to try to work through all of it with my therapist. That's good to hear. That's all you can do is keep trying to work through it all. She doesn't hold a grudge against her daughter. It's her daughter setting conditions, saying you have to accept my cheater husband, or I will have no relationship with you. She doesn't have to accept him as a friend. She also doesn't have to hate him, he's done nothing to her. He cheated on his ex-wife, not her. She can tolerate a former cheater in her bed, but she can't be cordial to one for the sake of her kid and grandkid. Could these be misplaced feelings as well? This all needs to be discussed with her husband and or a counselor to help her resolve these issues. I wish her and her family the best. May. I haven't been cheated on. But I have cut people from my life for behaviors I tolerate from those closer to me. Daughter's husband has proven he's a boss. Why should she tolerate him? There are no misplaced feelings. This guy is a class A jerk. I disliked him intensely before I knew about him being married. The cheating just confirms the kind of person he is. I mean honestly, it's not like he is trying to fix his crap and be a better human. This post is what Op should be thinking about. She isn't being completely honest with herself. I'm so glad you managed to figure that out from one Reddit post. I think you're wrong about hypocrisy. Thank you for your judgment. Have a nice day, lady. This is what your daughter learned. Did you ever get her into therapy? Or have conversations with her about what happened? Look, I'm not trying to pass judgment. I don't know your situation, but normally people who engage in this kind of stuff have things going on inside them. I imagine for your daughter to do this, she was probably seeking validation and attention from someone. There are a range of reasons why she might have decided to make this bad choice, but I think disowning her may not be a great idea just yet. I am a mother, and while I would be upset at my kids, I could never fathom just cutting them off. I understand you are deeply hurt by the infidelity of your ex and hurt by it, so I am not passing judgment on you. I just am a person who usually tries to understand things from all sides and who gives probably too much empathy and compassion sometimes. It's a rough situation and I'm sure it's triggering for you. I am so sorry that it is. I would just hate for you to one day regret not knowing your grandchild because of a mistake your daughter made. Except you are passing judgment. I never said I disowned anyone. I said we have no relationship. This is her and her AP's choice. I don't want a relationship with him. My daughter and her kid, yes. My daughter was already an adult and living on her own for many years when my husband's affair came to light. I'm not sure what influence this had on her. And yes, we talked about it often. I am sorry I misread that part. I thought you were saying you had cut her off for what she did. I am sorry you're dealing with this and are probably triggered and hurt by it too. I hope your daughter and grandchild can come back into your life soon. Is he keeping them away? Or is it a choice your daughter has made? He is closer to my age than hers. One of the things we hated about him, before we knew he was married, is how controlling he is. He knows it all, that inflicts his opinion on anyone and everyone. He interrupts conversations to talk over people. He knows everything about everything. He is a jerk. He comes from trash. So, is it him? Probably. But I also think my kid is being manipulated without even knowing it. Ultimately, I don't think it matters as the outcome is the same. I'm so very sorry you're going through this. I only hope one day she can see for herself and get away from him. And when she does, we will be there for her. Her daughter is so desperate to legitimize her relationship, she's forcing her mother to have a relationship with the married man she had an affair with. She could continue to have a relationship with her mum, but she's choosing not to. Thank you for the clarification. I definitely read it wrong. Such a crappy situation. It's too bad her daughter can't understand how triggering it is probably for her. Maybe she will realize it. Hoping she does someday. This is exactly what I believe this is about. She is continuing by using her child as a weapon. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.